Alright, so the Synchro Cup. From what I've seen so far, everyone's experience with this event has been pretty bad to downright atrocious. And it's really not surprising because, you know, Synchro decks, if they're known for one thing, they're known for summoning Synchro monsters that have the word negate on them. And, you know, that's a problem because there's another quirk of Synchro decks is that Synchro decks suck going second. We have some of the worst going second decks in the entire game are all Synchro decks. And so when you know that's not a good combination. When you have decks that just summon negates turn one, then you have decks that cannot play into those negates. It ends up being just like a coin flip simulator pretty much. Or you play Tenpai, which everyone fucking loves, right? I'm sure nobody is sick of playing against Tenpai right now. So yeah, here I am with my Duels level max deck, and I am contributing to that very problem. Okay, I'm playing a deck that puts up a ton of negates turn one. Yeah, here we go. So I promise I will explain the theory behind this deck. That yes, there is a theory. This is not just 60 random cards. You know, fans of the channel before have seen a familiar deck to this, where this is Naturia, P.U.N.K, Centur-ion, aka the NPC deck. And the idea with this deck in general is that, you know, the Naturia cards are pretty good. You know, Nat Beast is a pretty good card, but also Naturia Camellia is like the easiest hand trap bait in the world. And then like the idea is that I don't give a shit about Camellia's effect resolving at all. The only thing I care about Camellia is the fact it's level 4 tuner. You combine Camellia with a level 4 tuner plus a level 8 non-tuner, and you get to go into Centur-ion Auxilia. You go into Auxilia, you search stand up, then you get full Centur-ion combo. So the deck basically goes from Naturia into P.U.N.K into Centur-ion. Naturia into P.U.N.K into Centur-ion combo, and then you end up with like an Auxilia plus like a Blaze Art or 2 on the field, plus possibly a Nat Beast, plus P.U.N.K cards, plus, you know, hand rip, plus like draw 2, plus you know, hand traps, plus L plus ratio, plus your opponent is gonna fucking lose the game, and they're probably gonna quit the game before you even get to finish your combo, because that's what fucking happens most of the time. Like, my opponent will hand trap me once or twice, and then I play through it, because this deck, if you draw engine pieces, the hand traps don't matter, and then I'll be on like my like Auxilia into stand up into making my Crimson Dragon through 2 hand traps with a Camellia on the field, and then my opponent will just leave, and I'm like, oh great, I guess that's another game I can't use for a video. So yeah, I had to play quite a lot of games in order to actually find games where I could get the combo off to show you how this deck actually fucking works. But yeah, the deck before used to run well, where is it? Okay, so give me that forbidden cards. This deck used to run Millennium cards. It used to run Sangenjin. It used to run. It also used to run Horus cards. But Konami are a bunch of haters, and they banned both the Horus cards and the Millennium cards in this event, even though Zombie Vampire and Doom Dragon were already banned. So like, those were arguably the biggest issues with those engines in the first place. But yeah, it personally affected me a lot, because those were the 2 best level 8 engines that produced level 8 bodies that I could combine with Naturia to actually play this deck. And Konami said no, you're not allowed to have fun. So I had to scour the Yu-Gi-Oh card pool for the next best level 8 engine, and thankfully I didn't have to look far, because P.U.N.K is actually really fucking broken as a level 8 engine. So yeah, basically you Emerging Teleport or no P.U.N.K Foxy Tune out with the addition of Rising Skill gets you your level 8 bodies for free. So like, either you'll Emerging Teleport, for Xiamen. Xiamen will search Foxy Tune, dump a card, and what's the great thing about Foxy Tune is that Foxy Tune can send any card from hand to the graveyard to trigger its specs. So that means you draw Foxy Tune plus Sacred Tree, you go plus. Sacred Tree is now a combo enabler, is now a combo starter when you combine with the P.U.N.K engine. So that's fucking nice. I dumped a lot of Sacred Trees off the Foxy Tune. Then the Foxy Tune will summon, you know, the Deer Node from deck, and then Deer Node plus Xiamen will make 1 level 8 synchro, and then the Deer Node goes to the grave and will revive Foxy Tune, so that will get you a second level 8 body. And with 2 level 8 bodies plus any level 4 tuner, the world is your oyster. You can do almost any combo in the game basically. So yeah, and the other way is if you open Foxy Tune, you start with Foxy Tune 7 Emergency Teleport. Because we have Rising Scale now, Foxy Tune is just as much of a starter as Emergency Teleport. In fact, Foxy Tune is arguably better of a starter than even Emergency Teleport, because you go Foxy Tune now, pitch a card, go Xiamen, instead of adding Xiamen adds Rising Scale now. Then Rising Scale will banish the Foxy Tune in graveyard, and when Rising Scale is summoned, it'll summon Deer from deck. And then Deer plus the Xiamen will then make your level 8 Synchro. So then you have your level 8 Synchro plus your level 8 body in Rising Scale. And then you even get to revive the Xiamen back for later, which, the Xiamen level 3 tuner on the field doesn't help you too much, but it's just a free body. It lets you pop cards with using Primera Primus' second effect. It's just a free card you can pop. Or you can make, funnily enough, Xiamen, level 3 tuner, plus Naturia Sunflower, level 2 Earth non-tuner. These two make Nat Bees. So you have like 2 ways to make Nat Bees. So that's pretty funny. But yes, and the level 8 Synchro you can make. So P.U.N.K is actually has way more synergy than I even thought. At first I thought it was just level 8 bodies, but no. In fact, what P.U.N.K can also do is P.U.N.K, because it can make level 8 Synchros, it can make Centur-ion Primera Primus. So actually, any P.U.N.K starter is full Centur-ion combo. If you have nothing else, any P.U.N.K starter gets you to Primera Primus plus a second level 8 body. And then the Primera Primus searches you your Emblem of Oath, and the Emblem of Oath, set I scale, put a Primera in your Spell Trap Zone, special Primera, add stand up, put Trudea in your back row, and then you get full Centur-ion combo off the P.U.N.K engine, which is neat. If you already have if you already opened, your Naturia engine and don't need to go and can already bridge into your Centur-ion engine without using your P.U.N.K cards, then you can even use something like I often go Psyframe Lord Omega, and then Omega hand rips opponent's cards, goes away, and then Camellia plus the level 8 body will then make Auxilla. Auxilla will search stand up Centur-ion, activate, place Trudea in the back row, and then suddenly you have full Centur-ion combo plus a hand rip. Plus, later on in the turn, you will make a Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon will search Synchro Rumble. Synchro Rumble will revive Naturia Camellia. And then on your opponent's turn, your opponent's going to deal with like a hand rip, double Blazar, possibly a Phalanx in the back row, Camellia on the field to when they normal summon any monster, the Camellia will revive the Sunflower or the Mole Cricket, and then they'll have to deal with 2 monster negates on top of a couple Omni negates. Not to mention, Legacia on the field means that your monsters with 2,000 or less attack cannot be destroyed by battle, which means that they can't attack over Camellia or your Sunflower by battle, so they have to eat the two monster negates just offset. Like they have no way to even leverage their battle phase, and also like Blazar can also end the battle phase, has an effect like that too. So like your opponent will never be able to run over your Camellia and your Sunflower on your end board as well. Also, you might have a Naturia Beast too, in which case, well, that's just that's infinite negates plus a couple Omnis plus whatever plus yeah. I'm sure like people who have not seen this deck before and they went against this, they were. I'm sure their jaws were on the floor because they didn't know what the fuck was going on, and yeah. So you will see just how broken this deck is and just the combo potential this deck has in the replays. I promise you. But yeah, so basically the 3 engines are Mole Cricket, are the Naturia engine, which is triple Mole Cricket, triple Camellia, 1 Sunflower, triple Sacred Tree, and triple Blessing. So there's the P.U.N.K engine, which is triple Foxy Tune, triple Emergency Teleport, 1 Rising Scale, 1 Deer Note, and 1 Xiamen. So with Foxy Tune and Teleport, it's important because neither these get you to your P.U.N.K engine without even using your normal summons. If you open Xiamen, it's okay. Xiamen is at worst, Xiamen is full Centur-ion combo. Okay, so like that's not the worst, but like obviously this deck has other normal summons that you see right here. So like ideally you don't have to use your normal summon on Xiamen, but if you need to, Xiamen is technically still full combo. It's just it's probably your worst normal summon because it doesn't need to be normal summon. Yeah, and then the Centur-ion engine, so it's like 1 Primera and double Trudea, mainly because if Trudea is like a brick, you can't. So stand-up Centur-ion can only set monsters from deck. So if you draw Trudea, you actually can't set it with stand-up Centur-ion, which is kind of annoying because you're usually gonna place Trudea off stand-up most of the time. So like you don't want to not be able to place the Trudea like it's a Garnet. So that's why you run 2 of this. 1 Primera, because Primera, unlike Trudea, Primera can be placed from the hand with Trudea. So like that's usually fine. And if you draw it, like worst case scenario, you open Chimera, you just do Centur-ion combo and you just make double blazer anyway. Like the deck's fallback plan, the deck's plan B is to just make double blazer. So yeah, that's plan B. So you can just imagine what plan A is. And then one Ashri, obviously, one Chimera. So like this card, the theory behind this card is that during your normal combo, where you don't even have to go through Premier Primaries, like if you open Naturia combo with Camellia Access plus P.U.N.K engine, you actually don't even need to go to this Premier Primaries because you already have enough to make double Blazer with that already. You never have to make a level 8 synchro. So you end up searching Wake Up, and then instead of dumping Centur-ion Phalanx, because you don't need to, you can just dump Chimera, and then end phase the Auxiliary will place the Chimera, and then you can use summon Chimera on your opponent's turn, then you have an extra monster gate. That never happened. This card's ass. Like, first of all, if I'm able to do that entire combo and end with a Chimera on the end board, okay, the Chimera is completely unnecessary. Like, it's literally the least necessary interruption in the entire game. Like, that was completely not real. Like, my opponents would just give up way more often than I would even get a chance to actually even use Chimera. So this card did nothing, and then obviously it's like a brick, but it's not a good draw. It's just a combo piece. Like, the only reason I put this in here was because it's a fucking royal rare, and I'm like, this is like the least useful royal in the game, but I have to find some way to use it, right? And I didn't even fucking use it one time. Like, I've never used the effect to summon itself. I've only ever drawn this at brick, so realistically, this could be literally any other card, like a fucking Fool Loss or anything, or whatever. But this card's not necessary in the deck. But yeah, and then one Gargoyle, it is necessary, and then like one Emblem Oath. Honestly, this could be a second Emblem Oath, and it would have been so much better because Emblem Oath is a starter. Emblem Oath plays a stand-up Centur-ion, like it's great. So yeah, and then 1-for-1 and Fluid Burial Goods are also part of the Naturia engine, because like 1-for-1 gets you Mo Cricket, and Fluid Burial Goods gets you dumping a Sacred Tree, which searches any Naturia card. And yeah, if you open any two of these three engines, basically, if you open like Centur-ion plus Naturia, or Centur-ion plus P.U.N.K, or Naturia plus P.U.N.K, any combination of these two engines, you're basically gonna win the game. Like, aside from getting max seed, which this deck isn't even bad at the max seed, because you can like summon Mo Cricket and then use your other spells on the effect. Your opponent chains max seed, you chain Mo Cricket, summon Camellia, then you end on Camellia, Mo Cricket plus like another interruption off the Centur-ion cards. You can end on like 2 or 3 interruptions through a maxi. Like, I've done that a few times, and my opponents haven't been able to play through that. But yeah, opening any tooth of these 3 engines, it makes you unstoppable. You play through any hand trap or 2, and you still end on a board with like Omni Negates and so on and so forth. It's actually crazy. So yeah, the only issue is that you have to, this is a 60 card deck, and it's a multi-card combo deck, so you have to have ways to go second. So my ways to go second is to just play a bunch of hand traps. So we have a Valor, Maxi, Gamma. Gamma is fucking broken in this deck. It's so insane. Like, Mo Cricket baits Gamma on your turn, Foxy Tune baits Gamma on your turn, Emergency Teleport baits Gamma on your turn, fucking Stamps and Centur-ion baits Gamma on your turn, because you summon the Premier from your back row, or you're straight from back row, so then that baits out Maxi too. Like, this deck is nuts at baiting out Gamma. Gamma is always live when I go first, or Gamma is always live on my turn. So this card's fucking crazy. And if you draw a Driver, like, just discard Driver off of stand up or Fox. You do have to discard 2 cards in your combos. Like drawing Driver, it's like you're gonna have to discard some cards, so might as well discard a fake card, right? And then like triple Ogre, because this card is pretty insane versus Centur-ion, which is like the most common deck. Triple Ash, triple Nibiru, good against everything except fucking Tenpai. Fuck Tenpai. But you know what? Whatever. In order to like counteract Tenpai, we put in 3 tactics as well, because tactics is very good against Tenpai. So like, if you open Nib versus Tenpai, you just discard Nib, and hopefully you have a tactics live to really make their day miserable, and then like 1 in perm as a cross-sell target. So as I'm not running Fool Loss, because Fool Loss is very bad against 2 of the top most played decks in the format. 2 of the I think like the 2 decks I faced most this event were Centur-ion and Tenpai. And Fool Loss is complete ass versus both those decks. Versus Centur-ion, it's an upstart goblin, and it doesn't even hinder them like Maxi does. Like, they can just literally do the same play, and they still end on like Auxilio plus Phalanx, and then make a Blazer on your turn, and the Fool Loss was group me in 1 card. Like, cool, nice upstart goblin. And then versus Tenpai, I shouldn't have to explain how bad Fool Loss is versus Tenpai, so I just ended up cutting that card. I never want, like, half the time I saw that card, I didn't even want to want to resolve it because it didn't do jack shit. But yeah, that's the main deck. I promise you, there was a lot more thought in this deck than you would believe. Like I labbed the shit out of this deck and went through all the combo blinds, and like I was like come up the combo lines in my shower to make sure they all worked, which they did. And then the extra deck. So the extra deck is actually kind of tight. So like I have the Nat Beast, obviously one Barkion. Barkion is not necessary unless you own a Royal Rare. If you own a Royal Rare, you are obliged to play it. But other than that, you don't actually need the Barkion. Omega, you know, hand ripped. You get when you make the synchro with P.U.N.K, you have 3 options of what synchro to make with P.U.N.K. You can either make Omega to hand rip, Jam Dragon Drive to search Ogre if you need the extra body on field, or you could make Diabolantis. So basically, you make Diabolantis when you don't have access to your Naturia engine, because if you don't have your Naturia engine, you can still use your P.U.N.K engine, make Diabolantis, dump a Camellia, and then later on in the combo, when you make Crimson Dragon will add Synchro Rumble. Synchro Rumble will revive Camellia, and then Camellia will dump Smoke Cricket or Sunflower. And then you have your access to Camellia plus Smoke Cricket and Sunflower, even without hard drawing it. And of course, if you draw a Blessing, but no Naturia cards, well, the Diabolantis immediately makes the Blessing last. So yeah, I've actually used Diabolantis a couple times to dump my Naturia cards to the grave, and it's worked. Also, Diabolantis can make itself a tuner. So if you, this was more relevant before when I played Full Loss. Full Loss plus Diabolantis was actually full Centur-ion combo. As cursed as that sounds, but like obviously when I cut Full Loss, that's not a play that I make anymore. But I mean, Diabolantis plus Chimera is still full Centur-ion combo. So yeah, and obviously with any other Centur-ion card is also full Centur-ion combo. But you know what's also full Centur-ion combo? Nibiru plus Effect Veiler. you nib your opponent's board, your turn, you normal summon Effect Veiler, you go into Auxilia, boom, there's your full Centur-ion combo right there. Yeah, and then like Premier Primus, if you don't have access to bridging into your Centur-ion engine, you just make this off P.U.N.K, and then that's still fine. You still have full Centur-ion combo. Baron, Dissipator. So Dissipator, you can, the only 2 dragons in this deck are Gargoyle and Excel Stardust Asynchron, but like if you make Dissipator, you're usually making it after you make an Omega, so you're actually hand-looping your opponent for 2 cards. And like yeah, that's obviously I don't need to explain how like Dissipator revive Omega from the banish zone is fucking busted as hell. Or oftentimes I think the most common way that you should make Dissipator, I've never done this before because my opponents wouldn't let me, they would just leave before I even got a chance to, but if you have a random Naturia Sunflower on the field to protect you from Nib, once you make Premier Primus, you can just synchro the Premier Primus because it's a tuner plus a Naturia Sunflower into Baron, and then make Crimson Dragon later on the turn. Crimson Dragon, target Baron, summon Dissipator, so that's how you get your access to Dissipator. Then Dissipator brings back Omega, and then you hand rip a second card. So yeah, you can like some hands, some 2-card combo hands, you can like end on like 2-3 Omni Negates plus hand rip 2 plus draw 2 as well. So that's nice. Psychic and Punisher, because you know we're playing P.U.N.K cards, so this is an option for going second. Double Blazar, I don't make a Supernova. You don't need to make Supernova. The second Blazar is better. Obviously, if you don't have 2 Blazar, then like you can supplement with a red Supernova, it's fine. But like obviously, if you can get in a position where you make double Blazar, you're probably already winning. But I have made double Blazar quite a bit, and I always win when I make double Blazar anyways. And it's just free. It's easy. No, turn my brain off. Just make double Omni Gates that come back every turn. Like yeah, that's free. Crimson Dragon, this card should like fucking be banned at some point. I'm surprised to let this be legal, honestly, in the Synchro event. This card is the most degenerate Synchro card like you'll ever see, but you know, it's legal, so there it is. And then the 2 Centur-ion Synchro. So yeah, enough me glazing this deck and like hyping it up in this page. Like let's go get to the actual games and like see how broken this is. So let me demonstrate the insane combo potential of this deck. So we're going first, and we open Mo Cricket, E-Telly, Call By, and 2 bricks. So this is the good and the bad of this deck. The good is that Mo Cricket plus Emerging Teleport plays through like so many things. Like it's crazy. The bad thing is that this deck also plays a ton of bricks. Case in point, Archery plus Chimera. So these cards are getting sent to the graveyard immediately from a discard cost, no question. But yeah, you do open a lot of bricks. So you know, hopefully the other cards in your hand are good enough to carry, which in this case it is. So Mo Cricket Mole Cricket, we're gonna, you know, summon Camellia. Camellia gets impermed. Nice. Exactly what you want to see. Camellia, number one purpose of Camellia is not used for any Naturia combos or anything. It's just used to bait out hand trap, because my opponent is definitely gonna hand trap my Camellia when they see it. Even though they see I'm playing 60 cards, nobody's gonna fucking know that you're playing Naturia P.U.N.K Centur-ion, okay? They're just gonna think you're on some stupid Naturia deck. So obviously they're gonna Veiler or imperm the Camellia. So yeah. Anyways, we'll let that go. And then moving on, we go into Xiamen. The Camellia, all we care about is that the Camellia is a level 4 tuner. It could have no text and it would be just as broken. So yeah, we're gonna Foxy Tune, summon out Deer Note, and then our opponent's gonna go Bystial. And funnily enough, this deck doesn't play into Bystials normally, but because we discarded a light and dark monster, we actually put a light and dark monster in grave. So my opponent could summon Baldrake plus Magnum, and then, you know, they use Magnum's effect. I use the Camilla's effect because you know, maybe it baits something out. I know Camilla is negated, but maybe they won't know, but maybe they forgot already. But yeah, so they have Baldrake out, and you know, this Baldrake is also not gonna matter. So I'm gonna go Deer Note plus Xiamen into Primera Primus, and then Primera Primus Chain Link 1, and then Deer Note bring back Fox Xiamen and see this chain. So my opponent's gonna go Baldrake, banish my Primera Primus. I don't even care about that. Let the Primera Primus go. I don't care. Banish my Primera Primus if it makes you feel better. So bring back Xiamen. Primera Primus effect adds Emblem Oath, and then it gets to pop Xiamen, because Primera Primus gets to pop a card too when it searches. But usually you don't use this effect because you don't want to pop your own cards. But here, the Xiamen, thank you for being a free card that I can pop. So now my opponents use 3 hand traps. They're down to 2 cards in hand. What the hell happened? Anyways, we're gonna full combo after this. So we're gonna use Emblem Oath, place Primeras. Special Primera, add stand up, a royal stand up, activate stand up, dump Autry, serve your purpose well, place Trudea, special summon itself, Trudea, put itself back, place Gargoyle, summon out Gargoyle as a level 8 because we already went through Primera Primus. Go into Auxilia with the Trudea. Now we are no longer Centur-ion locked because the Trudea went to the grave, or because the Primera went to the graveyard. Gargoyle adds itself back to hand, and then Auxilia will add a Phalanx, because like I don't need more extenders. I already have the Gargoyle. So Gargoyle is gonna send Trudea, and then we're going to make Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon is gonna search Synchro Rumble, and then Crimson Dragon is gonna tag out into a Blazar, and we're gonna activate Synchro Rumble, summon back the Camellia, set 2. So this was the end board through Magnum Butt, Baldrake, Imperm. By the way, this is part of the reason why I think Bystials aren't that good this format, because most decks aren't going to be light and dark based decks. So these 2 Bystials actually didn't do much in terms of interruption. It's mainly just the Baldrake. It banished my Primera Primus, but like I didn't even care about that. And yeah, we still ended on Blazar, Camellia, which is going to summon out Molkirk, which is going to summon out a Sunflower. So that's going to be 2 more monster gates, and then plus a Centur-ion Phalanx. So that's like 4 interruptions right there, plus a Call by the Grave. Didn't even use the Call by the Grave. Did not even have to use the Call by the Grave because my opponent had no hand traps I could even call it by. And on my opponent's turn, also after we use a Sunflower effect, so Auxilia is going to place a Centur-ion monster. So I'm going to place Gargoyle, and then after I use Camilla's effect, I can also go Gargoyle, special Gargoyle, snap Centur-ion, make a Crimson Dragon with the Camellia, and then go into a second Blazar as well. So this setup is like double Blazar, Sunflower, Phalanx, all that stuff through 3 hand traps, and my opponent searches a Lubellion, which you know, the Lubellion I don't even have to use any of my interruptions on. The Lubellion just fucking gets called by the grave, and then my opponent, you know, realizes that they can't break a board with 5-6 interruptions with 3 cards in hand. So yeah, that's bullying the Synchro Cup event with fucking Naturia cards. But yeah. So on to more combos that totally won't make my opponent want to leave the game. So here we open the Naturia Camellia, Foxy Tune, Double Blessing plus Emblem Oath. This hand is impossible in Ensemble. Short of Max C, you will not stop me from doing my full combo. Even if you do have Max C, it wouldn't even be that bad, because you have Double Blessing plus Emblem Oath to set up Centur-ion negates, the Centur-ion interruption without even special summoning. But yeah, I'm going to normal summon Camellia, dump Mole Crickets, Blessing summon back Mole Cricket, and then they Dominus Impulse my Mole Cricket. So first of all, I don't know why you Dominus Impulse the Mole Cricket and not my Blessing. You just gave me a free body for no reason. I mean, whatever. It's your, it's your hand traps. You decide how to use them how you want. But yeah, now that they use the Dominus Impulse on the Mo Cricket, I'm free to use Foxy Tune. Foxy Tune dish the other blessing, summon Zeoman. Zeoman add Rising Scale. Rising Scale banish the Foxy Tune Engrave, and then Rising Scale effect will summon a Dyrno from deck. Dyrno plus Zeoman will make Omega, because like my opponent, I have way past full combo. My opponent already used a hand trap. Let's get rid of even more cards in that hand. So Omega, then Dyrno, Chainlink 1, summon Zeoman, Chainlink block with Zeoman's effect, and then I'm going to use Cyber Lord Omega to rip another card out of my opponent's hand. And they're playing Ice Barriers. So like, cool. Ice Barriers is not going to be able to play in this board, not even close. Zeoman comes back, and here we go into Centur-ion Legacia, because I already have Limited Move. I don't even need to search any Centur-ion cards, because I already have this one Centur-ion card I need to extend. So we just draw a card, draw Camellia, that's fine. I was just going to discard it off the stand-up anyway, so Emblem Move, place stand-up Centur-ion, stand-up Centur-ion. Pitch Camellia, place Tridea summon itself, Tridea place Primera, special summon Primera, add Wake Up Centur-ion, activate Wake Up Centur-ion, make it level 8, and then we go into Crimson Dragon, effect add the Synchro Rumble to revive the Camellia, and then my opponent leaves. So I wasn't even close to being done, by the way, just not even close. But yeah, what I was gonna do is obviously we're gonna make a Blazar with the Crimson Dragon, but also we were gonna Synchro Rumble, revive Camellia plus Molcricket, make Nat Beast, and then revive the Naturia Camellia as well. So we were gonna have the Gauchia, Nat Beast, Blazar, Synchro Rumble to revive the Gauchia, Nat Beast, Blazar, and the Naturia Molcricket on the field. Molcricket is gonna summon out Camellia or Sunflower, or whatever the fuck I want. It doesn't matter. My opponent had 3 cards in hand, drawing to 4 versus like 3 plus negates and like whatever. So yeah, and their hand trap did literally less than nothing. So yeah, they decided to leave. At the point, the Crimson Dragon was their breaking point. That was when they could not handle it anymore. So here's a game where we're going second. And we opened Valor plus Gamma, which is, this is a, pretty good 2 hand traps opened if we did go second. And my opponent goes Tridea, so I am going to Valor the Tridea because, I already have a second hand trap in case they have extension anyways. And my opponent goes Tactics, and they go Tactics to look at my hand, which is, I was scared because they took away the Gamma. So they saw I have Molcricket, Sunflower, and Phalanx in hand, and this Gamma is going to go away, so I'm going to have no more hand traps. And then they activate Lubellion. So Lubellion will add Magnamud, and then Magnamud is going to banish my Valor because it's a fucking light hand trap, so fuck me, I guess. Then Lubellion comes out. Then the Lubellion is going to place Regain, and then they're going to add Druid's Worm. So this is not as scary, because there's no Link monsters. My opponent could not make an SP, they could not make an IP. So all they have is Bystial Control plus Regain, which I guess it's okay because they're gonna draw some cards, but they saw I was playing fucking Naturias, okay? So like, what makes you think that Bystials are gonna be good? But I guess they didn't know that at first. Like that they took the safe play. I would have just Tactics, try to draw 2, try and draw in the Centur engine, because the Bystials are not reliable as hand traps as you're gonna see. Meanwhile, if you drew into a stand-up or Emblem of, I would have lost the game on the spot. But I guess I had a Gamma, so like it wouldn't have been over, but they would have been in a much better position than this, because the fucking Bystials are not gonna do jack shit. Okay, watch this. Passes to my turn, and I draw more bricks. This hand is literally Molcricket plus three bricks. Do you think I can win with Molcricket plus 3 fucking bricks in hand? Well, let's see. So they're gonna Regain, and I'm gonna chain Molcricket. Just, get it out of the way in case they have an Ash or something. It gets chain blocked by their own Magnamut. But yeah, I'm going to Camellia effect. So I'm going to dump a card, and I'm going to Reborn the Molcricket, and then they're going to use Bystial Magnamut's effect, which I really don't give. I couldn't give less of a shit about you adding more Bystials to your hand. The Molcricket comes back, the Camellia dumps the Sacred Tree. Sacred Tree is going to add a Blessing. And here, I was pondering what my move was. So I'm going to Sacred Tree, summon out Naturia Sunflower, okay? And boy, this is probably the most desperate play I've ever made, but check this out. So we're gonna go into Nat Beast, and the only reason I'm gonna make Nat Beast is because the Molcricket revives itself. So we're synchro climbing, baby, and then we're going to turn 4 monsters. We turned. You ever see Naturia, Beast, Camellia, Smoke Cricket, and Sunflower? You ever seen someone make fucking Auxilia with 4 different monsters? No, I guarantee you have not. This is the first time this has ever been done in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, I had, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I had stand up Centur-ion, activate stand up Centur-ion. Centur-ion is gonna hitch Autry, this place Turdea, special Turdea. My opponent, I gotta gamble on my opponent not having any real hand traps besides the Bystials, which, you know, they don't. So another reason why I don't like Bystials this format. But yeah, we had to wake up, and then, you know, wake up, make it level 8, and we're gonna go into Crimson Dragon. Then Crimson Dragon is gonna add me my Autry. And they waited way too long to summon this Druid's Worm, by the way, because now I can just chain the Crimson Dragon into a Blazar, and then when they try to trigger their regain, so we're gonna summon out Blazar, add Synchro Rumble, and then when they trigger regain, I'm just gonna actually just negate the regain with Blazar. So you know, we don't have to deal with the regain anymore. So yeah, if my opponent had a real hand trap, they would have used it way before, so I'm not worried about anything. So yeah, I'm just gonna negate the regain, wake up Centur-ion, I'm gonna dump a Chimera to the graveyard just because I don't want to fucking draw it, and then I'm gonna attack over to Turdea, and I'm gonna use Synchro Rumble, revive the Camellia, so now they're gonna have to deal with Camellia plus back row, and then the Blazar comes back. Now I'm gonna use Auxilio to place the Autry. So this was actually a mistake. I realized after, I don't actually have an Emblem card in my graveyard. I don't have an Emblem Oath. So whoopsie there should have been a Primera. I mean, it doesn't end up mattering, obviously, because look at the position we're in. My opponent's adding Gargoyle to the hand with 3 Bystials that don't do anything versus a Blazar plus Centur-ion setup plus a Camellia. But, you know, whatever. I also have a Phalanx, but as you'll see. So in a little bit, I fumbled the bag a little, so I'm going to go Turdea, Special Autry, and then I'm going to make a second Crimson Dragon, and we're going to make double Blazar. So double Blazar, this wins the game. Like, there's zero chance Centur-ion can come back and actually beat double Blazar no matter what I do. So they're going to enter battle phase, and I'm going to test that theory by using my Phalanx on the Druid's Worm. Why did I use the Phalanx on Druid's Worm? I have no fucking idea. That was the dumbest play you could have ever made. I end up having to negate the battle phase anyways with Blazar because they have multiple attack position monsters. So that fucking Phalanx literally did nothing. That was the worst use of Phalanx in the history of the world. Don't do what I just did. Just end the battle phase with Blazar. Just don't fucking try to get cute. But yeah, they're gonna use Triple Tactics Talon, which I'm just gonna negate because I have to. And yeah, then my opponent, I still have interruptions left because my opponent has to normal summon a monster. So they're gonna normal summon Autry, then that's gonna summon back Sunflower. So now they're gonna go into Crimson Dragon, and the Crimson Dragon is gonna trigger my Molcritic to come back because when my opponent special summons from the extra deck, Molcritic gets to summon itself back. So thank you. That your one normal summon just gave me 2 free monsters when I field 2. And yeah, they're gonna go Crimson Dragon, add Synchro Rumble. So they're playing fucking Synchro Rumble too. Like what the fuck is this? What, that Centur-ion does not normally play Synchro Rumble. Synchro Rumbles for the fucking pile Centur-ion combo decks like mine. What the fuck is pure Bystial Centur-ion doing with fucking Synchro Rumble? Well, you know, whatever works out for them. Synchro Rumble is gonna revive the Autry, and they're gonna fumble the bag a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna go Molcricket first to summon out Camellia, dump Sigurtree, add a Blessing for follow up, and my opponent's gonna go into Baron. And what they should have done is they should have used Baron's effect to target my Sunflower. I would have had to negate. They would have negate with Baron. I would have had to negate again, and then their Crimson Dragon would have gone through it, and they would have a Blazar on the field. Now, unfortunately for them, I have 2 Blazars, and they would only have 1 Blazar. So you know, 2 is greater than 1, so they still would have lost. But what they end up doing is they use Crimson Dragon instead, which is the worst. That's the worst fucking mistake they could make, because now I can just get to negate with Sunflower, and then my opponent's going to use Baron to try to negate my Sunflower, but here's little known fact: Sunflower is not a hard once per turn. So I used Sunflower twice. Maybe they didn't know that Sunflower had 2 negates on it, but yeah, I had 2 negates off the Sunflower. So there's the Naturia cards coming in handy. Negate both. Funnily enough, Synchro Rumble protects their Crimson Dragon from destruction, which is very funny, but obviously, you know, it still gets negated. So my double Blazars come back, and my Auxilia will place the Primera this time, what I should have replaced. And draw phase, I'm going to use Naturia Blessing. They're going to use Crimson Dragon again, which is going to get negated again. You know, that's the second time it's been negated. And then summon back the Nat Beast because it's funny. And they get the Druid's Worm back, and obviously Druid's Worm in the face of this board is not going to be anywhere near enough. I'm just gonna you know, put enough damage on board, attack over the Druid's Worm, negate with Cosmic Blazar. I have never negated this many cards with Blazar in a single turn, in a single duel. Okay, I've never gone to the 4th negate. Like by the time I negate 2 cards with Blazar, my opponent's already usually dipped. So like, I guess shout out for my opponent for staying in, you know, after letting me negate even more cards with the Blazar. But yeah, that's you know. So, basically, this just shows that if you get the Auxilla, you get to do whatever the fuck you want. I spent literally my whole hand, four cards, 4 monsters into Auxilla, but then resolved. So once the Auxilla resolved, I won the game. Okay, so here's a game versus Tenpai, because our opponent won the coin flip and chose to go second. So that this hand is also pretty good. Mole Cricket plus stand-up Centur-ion. So I feel pretty safe. I summon Camellia, my Camellia gets Veiler, and I don't even call by the Veiler. I just let that go, because I have more extenders in my hand. So I'm going to activate Stand-Up now. Stand-Up, pitch Nibiru, because I know Nibiru is not going to do anything in this matchup. Summon Trudeia. Trudeia put itself back, summon out Gargoyle, and then Gargoyle as plus Camellia is going to go into a Premier Primus. Then Premier Primus is going to add my Emblem of Oath, and Gargoyle is going to, you know, add itself back to my hand. So yeah, Gargoyle, and then add Emblem of Oath. When you use Emblem of Oath, I'm going to place Primera in my back because I didn't go through Primera yet, because I actually skipped Primera to go Trudeia into Gargoyle. So now I get to add Wake Up to my hand. And now I activate Wake Up, and this is double Blazar setup if my opponent does not have Nibiru. So, and unfortunately they do have Nibiru. So that was a bit unfortunate. Maybe there was a line I could have, you know, baited out Nibiru earlier, because I was not playing around Nibiru at that point. So this Nibiru kind of hurt. At the same time, it's not the worst. Even without playing around Nibiru, I still go Wake Up, put Phalanx in the graveyard, set 2, and my opponent goes End Phase Magnema. So my opponent fucked up. You know, they should have seen this coming. They should have seen my Wake Up send Phalanx, because they target my Premier Primus. But because I have Phalanx in the graveyard now, I can just Phalanx chain targeting the Premier Primus, and now their Magnema doesn't summon itself, so they just wasted their Magnema. If this Magnema resolved, they had a very good chance of winning this game. Instead, I get the Premier back, and I still get to make a Legacia on my opponent's turn, so I have Trudeia plus Premier Primus into the Legacia, plus Call by the Grave, plus Infinite Impermanence. So I still feel pretty good about myself here. My opponent uses Magnema, banishes my Primera, no, it's whatever, and then they normal summon Master Dragon. This is how down bad people are. Our Tenpai players are. They're playing fucking Master Dragon to summon Chandra. So anyways, I figure I could just leave this Premier Primus on the field, because this can't be destroyed by battle right now. So there's a chance that they actually can't out this normally anyways, but I just, you know, let's see if I can draw like an Ash and just make this very simple, but they're gonna Maxi me, and I'm gonna Call by the Grave to Maxi it. I'm very glad I saved the Called by the Grave and didn't use it on that Veiler. So yeah, Trudeia summons itself out, then Trudeia plus Premier Primus is going to go into Legacia. I'm going to draw a card, pop the Nibiru, draw a Sacred Tree. This is like literally the worst draw in my deck. So my opponent's going to go Master Dragon, attack into Legacia, summon out Chandra, and then the Chandra is going to get hit by the Imperm. So, you know, yeah, you lost the Imperm. They're going to make a Baron, which I don't really care. So they're going to make Baron, or they're going to make, actually, hold up. They made a Transcendent Dragon instead of a Baron. That's an odd choice right there. But yeah, they're gonna crash into my Legacia, summon out Transcendent Dragon, pop my Legacia. Okay, so they opted to make Transcendent Dragon to pop my Legacia instead of making Baron to pop my Legacia. That's a very interesting choice there. Not sure I agree with that, Cotton, but yeah. Anyway, they're gonna add Genroku, end phased, special the Genroku, not use the effect for some reason. You know, they love playing into talents, but anyway, I'm gonna hard draw Naturia Blessing. So draw phase, I'm gonna use Naturia Blessing, and they're gonna summon out Fadra. That's too late for them, because now I'm gonna summon Camellia. The Fadra is gonna summon back the Chandra, and because they summon back the Chandra, I get the Camellia plus Sacred Tree. So Camellia dumps Sacred Tree, then Camellia revives Mole Cricket, and then the Sacred Tree is gonna add the Blessing to my hand. And now I'm going to use Gargoyle to send the stand-up Centur-ion, and I'm going to go into a level 12 Synchro Auxilla. Auxilla is going to add me a card, and then Gargoyle is going to add itself back to my hand. So Gargoyle adds itself back, and then I'm going to add a second stand-up to my hand, so that way I can use it again. My opponent's going to troll me, which is like, kind of hurts, not really, to be honest. Like, I guess I can't add off the Sacred Tree again, but it's whatever. I can still play through this roll, so I'm going to activate stand-up. I'm going to send Gargoyle, and then place Trudeia, special Trudeia, place Chimera, special Chimera, and this is watch what I'm using Chimera for. Okay, I'm gonna use Mole Cricket, summon out Sunflower, and then I'm gonna activate Blessing, and Blessing summon back to Camellia, and then I'm gonna go into Baron. So yeah, I only time I ever summoned Chimera, I fucking used it for a Baron, and I didn't even use it for its effect. But anyways, Baron's gonna pop the Transcendent Dragon, and now I don't have to attack with everything. So I'm just gonna go to the end phase because I have an Omnigate up, and end phase, Auxilia is gonna summon back, place my Primera, and now I have my opponent's gonna have a Chandra and a Fadra in the field, but I'm gonna have Baron de Fleur plus Blazar set up. So versus my opponent's 3 cards. 1 or 2 of them are cards on the field that do not beat an Omnigate, by the way. If they drew a Droplet, they're free to drop it for 2 cards. Feel free. But anyways, we're gonna try to enter battle phase, and now I'm just gonna, summon these 2 out, and we're gonna make we're gonna add stand up, and then we're play around Dominus Impulse by making stand up Centur-ion Chainlink 1, and then add Synchro Rumble, and then Crimson Dragon, make a Blazar, and now my opponent can no longer win the game. They fought valiantly, but there's just no chance they're beating this. So they're gonna enter battle phase, and I'm gonna negate their battle phase, and yeah, pass back to me, and then place the Chimera. Even though I'm still not gonna fucking use the Chimera. God, this card should not be in my deck, but whatever. It's whatever. We just put it in on the Tenpai player. Nice Mass Dragon. Try again next time. So here's a game where we're going first, and again, this deck just produces insane hands, insane hands that plays through multiple handers. So I'm gonna normal summon Mole Cricket, and this is a play around Maxi because or Fuelos, because Mole Cricket first. People usually don't. People don't shotgun Maxi normally. So I'm gonna summon Mole Cricket, and then I'm gonna use a special summon effect like Foxy Tune. If they chain Fuelos or Maxi, I can chain the Mole Cricket and deny them 1 extra draw. So that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go Fuelos, and here I go Foxy Tune, and then I chain Mole Cricket so that they don't get the draw off both. And I'm going to summon out Camellia, and then maybe this was a mistake. So I pitched stand up Centur-ion, even though honestly though, because my opponent used Fuelos, maybe I should have kept Sam Centur-ion. If I kept Sam Centur-ion, I could it would have cost me the rest of my hand, but I would have my Centur-ion negates up, so I could have like a Legatio or something. But I guess I wanted to keep my hand trapped in the hand because Maxi plus Nibiru is pretty good this format, aside from against Tenpai, which this could be Tenpai, so these could be terrible versus Tenpai, but yeah, I ran the risk of my opponent not being on Tenpais and just pitching stand-up Centur-ion, the Royal Rare. And they draw 1 card, but I'm going to go Camellia, dump Sacred Tree. Sacred Tree is going to add Blessing, and then I'm going to Xiamen, just add Riding Scale as follow-up. I'm actually going to special summon Riding Scale, even though this might look bad because it makes my Camellia, it makes my Mole Cricket work. Now I control a monster with a lot of attack, which means my Mole Cricket has less chance of summoning 2 monsters from deck. But no P.U.N.K Rising Scale is actually an interruption. I know people don't usually know that this card has an actual effect besides just special summoning a P.U.N.K from deck, because it usually gets linked off immediately. But yeah, when a monster your opponent controls with 2,500 or more attack activates its effect, you get to change the face down position. That's a very, very specific. And there was no way to know my opponent actually was playing a deck that was a good effect against. So in reality, I shouldn't have summoned the Rising Scale at all. I should have just kept it in my hand for follow-up. But it's going to be very funny when you see what my opponent's going to be playing. So my opponent, first of all, they're going to imprint my Camellia, which is fair now that I can't summon back my Mole Cricket. So that's a whole thing. But I can still summon back my Mole Cricket with Blessing, but I'm not going to be able to use Camellia's effect to negate the cost of Mole Cricket or negate the cost of Sunflower. So I'm going to have to actually tribute my own monsters, which is a little more annoying. But they're going to use Gateway at the 6. They're playing 6 Samurai. They're going to summon Kaigeki. I'm going to chain Naturia Blessing, and I'm going to chain Maxi. And yeah, unfortunately for my opponent, my Maxi also resolves. So that's a lot of things in this format. It's just Fuelos and Maxi Wars too. So the Mole Cricket gets summoned, and they summon out the 6 Samurai, Anarchist. They summon out Xian, and this is very funny because look at Xian's attack. It's 2,500. So yeah, I get to draw another card. They're going to go Xian plus Anarchist effect. And then Anarchist is going to add them Asceticism, and they're going to add another 6 Samurai. And now they're going to use their Gateway to add a Kizan. So here I was debating. I was debating whether to actually try to stop them or let them play into my board, because I do technically have a Nibiru in my hand. I could let him special summon and like potentially like I know Legendary 6 Samurai Shien is a monster negate, but I got two things that will bait out the monster negate, and I got a Nibiru in hand. So like I'm thinking like maybe I let them play into this maxi. But instead I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just use my Mokugate right now, because I already have follow up in hand, and they're gonna use Shien, and here the writing scale is gonna flip the Shien face down. So yeah, randomly my opponent playing 6 Samurai played into my Rising Scale, and now that they have a 6 Samurai, now their Shooter is face down, they cannot summon any more of their 6 Samurai monsters from hand. All of their extenders in hand are dead, and their asceticism didn't work because they don't have a 6 Samurai monster with 2500 attack in their deck. So yeah, that's this Rising Scale just ended 6 Samurai's turn. Yeah, and I draw a Fool Loss, which is like whatever. I'm gonna use Xiamen effect to add Foxy Tune, and I'm gonna pitch Foxy Tune to summon as Diurno from deck. I'm gonna make Jam Dragon Drive, add an Ogre to hand, Xiamen, make my Rising Scale big, and then add the Ogre, and I'm gonna make a Pep Psychic and Punisher, because now I am at 6200. Then I activate Centur-ion. I'm gonna pitch the Nibiru because I don't think I'm gonna be needing Nibiru anymore. I'm gonna go into Auxilla, then Auxilla gets Imperm, which is like, okay, cool, whatever. Anyways, Primera effect, special Primera, add a Trudea, normal summon Trudea, and my opponent feels like, yeah. Literally, I don't think I've ever seen P.U.N.K writing skills actual interruption effect used until now. So like, I guess we're like learning new things about our cards as we play our decks. So yeah, that was my experience with the Synchro Cup. I was just bullying kids left and right with the most unethical 60 card pile in the event probably. But let me know how your guys' Synchro Cup experience has been going. Are you guys bored of playing against Centur-ion and Tenpai for 80% of your matches like I was? Probably it's probably the case. But yeah, if you guys are struggling, I've made other videos based for other decks you could play for a Synchro Cup, some of the best decks for this event, and some budget options if you don't want to, if you don't have a real Synchro deck. But if you own Naturia cards, if you own P.U.N.K cards, and if you own Centur-ion cards for some reason, and you're dying to make use of them, here's something you can do with it. Here's a way to make use of P.U.N.K cards in the Synchro event. And I know there's some people who are wondering what the hell I was gonna do, how I was gonna play this deck after they banned Millennium cards and Horus cards. Well, here's the answer, okay? P.U.N.K is the answer. But yeah, thank you for watching.